When I have talked to others who are going through situations similar to mine, the common theme, the common hardest part of the situation for many is the feelings of isolation, being in a season of isolation. And, whether it's a gang stalking situation where you find yourself being placed in an involuntary Hunger Games scenario, or it could be a situation where you've ended a relationship and friends and family are choosing sides or choosing to withdraw altogether and not get involved. It could be a cliquey work environment where you feel isolated there. It could be a community dynamic where you've been labeled or stigmatized and kind of ostracized from the community. And it could also be in a family dynamic where you don't have family support. You've been isolated or just don't have existing family that is supportive and is part of your life. Whatever the case may be, isolation can feel very lonely, when you long to have a companion to go to a meal with, or you have something to share that you have no one to share with. And it can be hard. I have found, however, it can also be a beautiful opportunity that we can use to our advantage. For me, my season of isolation was a personal reset. I call it my personal sabbatical season because it gave me opportunity to really reflect and do a life review. What's working, what's not, what do I want my life to look like? And to make changes in habits and hobbies and how I spend my time, my routine, the people I allow in my life, and to completely shift things to rebuild a new life. And for the first time, I allowed myself to be selfish and to really focus on my own self-care and nourishing myself without guilt. Because so much of my time and energy went into filling up the cups of other people, and I never felt like it was okay to fill up my own. And so it was an opportunity to really do things I enjoyed, taking the time to read more, to focus on meal prep and fitness, and to take care of myself in a way that I never had before. And in my season, my personal sabbatical season, I feel like I experienced the most growth, the most healing, the most progress that I've ever had in my whole life combined. And yes, there's been times where it's been very lonely, and I've put on a baking show or a home renovation show just to have noise in the background. But I've also learned to really love that time for myself and to give myself the nourishment and nourish my soul in ways that I never allowed myself to before. And to really come to understand I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of respect, I'm worthy of being treated with dignity just as you are, regardless of what others are doing or saying toward you. And honestly, there are people that were in my life that I would have never let go of. I would have held on to family relationships and friendships and things out of obligation, and the situation really allowed people to be eliminated from my life. And I realized, wow, I feel a lot better. I have a different sense of peace without these certain people. And so it was a blessing in disguise. And one of the things that I think is really helpful when you're feeling alone and isolated is to recognize there are many people feeling the same, and to connect with others that are in hard situations, that are feeling isolated and alone as well, and uplift one another. If you think about assisted living homes, many of the residents there don't have regular family visitors, and they love when you come play a game with them or watch a movie with them, just spend time with them. And I always leave feeling uplifted and feeling good. And I remember this last Christmas, I was displaced. I was in a new community, away from family. And normally on the holidays, I'm preparing a great big meal. I'm a big holiday person and I love to host. And, the prior year I had done that and had been with my kids, and they had given me these really meaningful gifts that make a mom cry, which are the best gifts. And then to go the following year to a Christmas where I was completely alone and didn't hear from any of my family. And it was really something that I tried to be intentional about, to not allow myself to get into a dark place going through that. And I decided, I'm going to go for a walk and feel the cold, brisk air and listen to some Christmas music and just try to make the best of this day. And as I was walking, a woman approached me and asked if I would buy her something to eat. And I was happy to do that. And she and I found a food truck that was open and a picnic bench and sat on a chilly Christmas day and had a Christmas meal from a food truck together and visited. And she didn't have family. She was homeless and living on the streets and didn't have support. And it was a beautiful memory that I will always cherish, that specific Christmas, that the situation provided me the opportunity to be in that place at that time to have that experience. And another time that I was feeling very low and just wishing, gosh, I just wish I had someone to give me a hug, to feel support or to feel love. And in the community I was in, there was a beautiful opportunity to volunteer for a shift to come hold infants that are in the NICU that are going through drug withdrawal, that are in state custody, that don't have family that can do that for them, and they're in the hospital for an extended period of time. And yeah, it was a lot of hoops to jump through as far as background checks and paperwork and drug testing and things like that. But the reward was so great to be able to place these sweet little infants on my chest and allow them to feel my heartbeat and for them to heal. And they were healing my heart simultaneously. And I was getting the hug I needed, and we were helping each other. And that's the thing to really recognize, is if you're feeling alone, if you feel like you don't have support, that you're feeling isolated, please know you're not alone. This platform is intended for people going through similar situations to recognize just that we're not alone, that there are many of us going through similar situations. And when we connect with others that are going through hardships or that are going through the same feelings as us, we can build each other up and uplift each other and help navigate this season that can feel so isolating, but can turn into be such a beautiful season of growth if we choose to allow it to be that.